Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. Look, if you are gearing up to master biological waste management and absolutely ace your upcoming biology exam, you are exactly where you need to be. Consider this your ultimate, high-yield study guide. We're taking these complex biological processes and breaking them down so you can lock this information straight into your memory. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's break the ice with a pretty fundamental question. We all know our bodies do things like digest food and transport oxygen, right? But what happens to the leftovers? Like, why do we actually pass urine, and what exactly happens to all that waste produced inside us? Well, I want you to think of metabolic waste as a dangerous invisible toxin. Every single second of every day, as your cells are busy with respiration and digestion, they are generating garbage. And if left unchecked, that trash would literally poison you from the inside out. So our bodies had to come up with an incredibly ingenious way to filter this stuff out just to survive.
So here's our ultimate study syllabus for today. First, we'll cover the basics of excretion. Second, the human excretory system. Third, the absolutely crucial steps of urine formation. Fourth, dialysis, which is basically an artificial kidney. Fifth, we'll look at plant waste management. And finally, Section 6, acing your biology exam. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the basics of excretion. Before we even start talking about organs, we have to establish exactly what we mean when we say biological waste. You are going to want to lock this essential board exam definition into your memory word for word. Excretion is the process of removing harmful metabolic waste products from the body. Just remember, these are the products formed during life processes, like respiration and digestion. The real keyword you need to remember here is metabolic. This isn't just any waste, it is the direct cellular byproduct of simply being alive. Now, understanding the why behind this whole process is absolutely crucial. Excretion does so much more than just take out the trash. It's actively purifying your blood, it maintains the precise, delicate balance of water and salts, and it keeps your entire internal environment totally stable. Without this continuous biological cleanup crew, toxic nitrogenous wastes, specifically a highly dangerous compound called urea, would rapidly build up in your bloodstream, and that would lead to some really severe damage to your vital organs. Moving right along to Section 2, the human excretory system.
Think of your body like a massive, bustling city, and the excretory system, that's its vital water purification plant. Understanding the anatomical path of urine is a highly probable exam question for sure. So, first up, we have the two bean-shaped kidneys located right near your backbone. These are the main organs that actually do the heavy lifting of filtering the blood and producing the urine. Second, that urine travels down two distinct tubes called ureters, which just transport it away from the kidneys. Third, it sits in the urinary bladder, which safely stores it. And finally, step 4, it passes through the urethra, which is what actually expels it outside the body. Make sure you lock this exact sequence into your mind.
Now, if we zoom in, like really zoom in to the microscopic level, we hit a massive high-yield exam concept, the nephron. This is the structural and functional unit of the kidney. But why do we call it the functional unit? Well, it's because each of the roughly 1 million nephrons inside a single kidney works entirely on its own to filter blood and form urine. Actually, to put that into perspective, these tiny structures manage to filter about 180 liters of blood every single day. Seriously, 180 liters. They are the microscopic heavy lifters of this entire biological system. But to truly understand how the nephron pulls this off, you've got to know its specific parts. The structure consists of the Bowman's capsule, the glomerulus, the renal tubule, and the collecting duct. And let me just give you a huge exam tip right now. Practicing how to draw and carefully label this specific nephron structure is absolutely crucial for your test. Examiners love, and I mean love, seeing that you know exactly how these tiny components fit together.
All right, diving into Section 3, steps of urine formation. Fair warning, guys, this is traditionally the hardest concept on the exam, but don't worry, we are going to master it right now. Let's walk through the 3 exact steps totally systematically. Step 1 is filtration. Blood enters that tiny structure we just mentioned, the glomerulus. Right here, water, urea, salts, and small molecules get filtered directly into the Bowman's capsule, while the larger stuff, like proteins, they just stay behind in the blood. Then comes step 2, which is reabsorption. Your kidney is super smart, it doesn't want to lose the good stuff. So highly useful substances like glucose, amino acids, and a lot of necessary water get reabsorbed straight back into your bloodstream. Finally, step 3 is secretion. Any remaining excess ions and extra waste are forcibly pushed into the renal tubule of the nephron. So basically, the kidney smartly keeps the good stuff and aggressively dumps the bad. And the end result of those 3 complex steps? That's urine. It is composed mostly of water, obviously, but crucially, it contains urea, uric acid, mineral salts, and various other waste substances. Always, always remember that urea is the key harmful nitrogenous waste that our body is actively targeting for removal. That is the primary villain our kidneys are fighting against every day.
Section 4. Dialysis, the artificial kidney.
So what happens when our amazing biological water purification plant actually breaks down? Well, when kidneys fail, modern medicine has to step in. Dialysis is this incredible, life-saving process of removing waste materials from the blood using a machine. It literally acts as an artificial kidney. For patients who are unfortunately experiencing kidney failure, this machine performs that vital filtration of urea and the balancing of salts that their own nephrons just can't manage anymore. It is an absolutely vital mechanical substitute.
Okay, shifting gears a bit for Section 5, plant waste management.
We've spent all of our time talking about humans. But hey, plants are alive too, right? So they produce metabolic waste as well. But since plants don't have a bloodstream to filter, they have to get a little creative with their waste management. They release oxygen and water vapor directly into the air through their stomata. They also cleverly store waste in their leaves and bark, and then they just let those parts physically fall off the tree. Kind of wild when you think about it. They also use cellular storage, locking harmful substances safely away inside vacuoles. And incredibly, some plants store waste in the form of gums, resins, or latex. So, the very next time you see sticky tree sap, just remember, that's partially how the plant survives. It's literally managing its waste. Now, examiners absolutely love compare and contrast questions. So consider this your perfect study cheat sheet. Think about it. Humans have a complex, dedicated excretory system. Plants, they have no special system at all. We use kidneys, plants use stomata and dropping leaves. We form urine, plants form absolutely no urine. We rely on millions of microscopic nephrons, plants have 0 nephrons. Master these exact differences and you'll easily score points on the exam.
And that brings us to our final section, Section 6, acing your biology exam.
Let's just do a rapid-fire mental quiz right now to make sure everything's stuck. Can you confidently define excretion and the nephron? Can you draw and correctly label the human excretory system? Can you explain the 3 steps of urine formation, filtration, reabsorption, and secretion? Do you know exactly when and why dialysis is used? And finally, can you contrast human and plant excretion? If you can answer these specific questions, you are golden. You have successfully locked in the absolute highest yield material.
Congratulations on mastering life processes. You've got this. But before we completely wrap up, I want to leave you with a slightly provocative thought. Your kidneys filter waste automatically, day and night, absolutely flawlessly. But who or what is coordinating all of this behind the scenes? Like, how does your body actually know when to reabsorb more water or when it needs to speed the whole process up? That exact question leads us perfectly into our next adventure. Keep studying hard, and I will see you in the next explainer, where we're going to dive deep into control and coordination.